Hello, this is ScryMind, bringing you another Warcraft 3 audio commentary. This is going to be a 1v1 game on Tyrannus Stand. I'm going to be Elf against an undead player. And this game, unlike the other audios I've done, is going to be against a maphacker. And yeah, so as this game went, I didn't really know he was, I don't think I knew he was a maphacker at the beginning of the game, but again, he does a lot of suspicious activities. And again, as we're going to see, he does fall click my hero at some point, which is without having scouted it, so it's going to be a pretty clear indication that he is cheating with the red circle in the replay. So, but again, I'm going for a tavern build with archers, and my opponent looks to be going for a fiend build, and he's going to be going for Death Knight fiends actually. So I'll speed it up here a little bit as we just build. And yeah, so the plan here for me is to go for a fast expansion. I'm going to go for the top right one, but again, you can really go for either one of them. I don't know which one is more or less likely to get found. Again, against a maphacker, it's going to be wherever you go, he'll find it, of course. But again, I'm going to go for Tinker. The Tinker creeps really well on this map. He creeps well on a lot of maps, but this one in particular, because there's not a lot of magic immune units, and yeah, the creeps aren't very large. There's not like big rock golems to worry about, even though he does okay against rock golems, because so many of the clockwork goblins, a bunch of them come out of the pocket factory there. But again, you can creep these corner expansions, gold mines, pretty easily with pretty much any hero, especially summon heroes to tank these and get a lot of damage on these creeps here. But again, as we're gonna see, we're gonna see the opponent, he is going to come immediately, which is kind of one unusual move, to immediately run over here instead of creeping, say, this shop or this green or this lab. Usually they're going to creep that and get level 2. But as we're going to see, he is not going to do that. He's going to run straight for this expansion, which a lot of times that will be what a maphacker is going to do. Now, again, he might have just stumbled upon it. He could have just gotten lucky, but again, so I don't think even now I know that he's or I suspect he's maphacking. I think he might have just gotten lucky, because he's going to take this down. I'm going to detonate on his hero on those skeletons, which is good. It's going to give me level 2, but he is going to get 2 of these murlocs, and he is going to get this archer that just randomly got ensnared, which is really frustrating to me. Again, it's one part of the creeping that is kind of random. A lot of times you don't know what's going to get ensnared. They could have just as easily ensnared one of his fiends. One of them did get ensnared, but it could have ensnared the other one, or not ensnared anything, I don't know. But the timing was just very, very frustrating right there. And yeah, so he got that archer kill for free. He didn't quite get level 2 from it, which was fortunate, but again, it was still bad that I lost the archer, and then he got those kills there. So, but again, my plan is going to be to get level 3 and then start doing some harassment on his workers and ziggurats and stuff. Again, with a zeppelin, and I've got the 2 inches of war here, so it can be fairly effective. Again, against a maphacker, any kind of surprise harassment isn't really going to be a surprise. So he could have mitigated it a little bit better than he actually does, which is surprising. I don't know if he saw that I had a zeppelin. He might not have noticed that, which again, I've never maphacked before, but so I don't know how easy it is to see a zeppelin coming. But as we're going to see here in a second, he is going to fall click my hero, and there it is right there. Boom, fall clicked hero, and red circle. Clearly he's a maphacker. I guess he wanted to look and see what item I got from creeping this camp. Again, I don't know if it was all that important for him to do that, especially at the expense of outing himself, even though he does other things that are pretty much blatant. Here in a little bit, he's going to react to something else that he can't see, and give himself away that way also. But again, here I'm going to keep creeping. I haven't quite hit level 3. This will give me level 3, and then I can go do some harassment. Now, if you suspect you're playing against a map hacker, you know, like I said, you know, a lot of times they're going to run to an expansion. So, you know, if you want to distract them from like hitting your base or harassing or creeping, you know, sometimes you can throw up an expansion and have them, and it'll also sort of delay their creeping to have to run over there. If you throw up an expansion, you know, sometimes they'll run there, and you'll see what kind of units they have, their hero, what items they can they've gotten from creeping, and yeah, you're just gonna kind of waste some of their time. Now, it is gonna cost you resources to cancel. Again, Elf is a little bit better off because they can cancel and then detonate on the hero, so it's not gonna be giving them experience if you detonate the Wisp. But whereas other races, you know, if you go expand, you know, you're gonna lose the Worker also, which is another 75 gold and, you know, some experience for them. But yeah, and also you can just have a Wisp sitting on a tree or something, you know, in the meantime. So Wisps have that advantage. But anyway, if you're against someone you think is map hacking, you can do that to sort of have a little bit of control on what they're doing, and also it will show you, you know, depending on what they send to destroy it, it could show you what kind of units they got, or if they send their hero, you know, what kind of items they've gotten from creeping, which can be useful information if you're paying close attention and you know which camps drop which items. Now, again, I could have did this harass a little bit different. I've got one spot open on the Zeppelin. I could have sent the Tinker in the Zeppelin, but one advantage to doing it this way that I'm doing with the invisibility potion is, and especially against fiends, you're going to want to be careful, is as you notice, I put this up and he's going to harass it with his Death Knight instead of his army butt, so he can keep creeping. So it didn't delay his creeping all that much, but I did get to see what items he had if I wanted to look. But now here's where he gives another clue that he's map packing. Not that we need it, since we've seen him fog click without having vision. But he's gonna start moving these acolytes before I actually reveal myself again. But going in with invisibility as opposed to the Zeppelin, while it cost 100 gold, it let me see that his army wasn't there, which is very important, especially against fiends, because if he had his army just happen to be there for whatever reason, you know, he could have webbed the Zeppelin before I got anything out, and then that would have been just a bad time. Again, destroying the Zeppelin, everything that comes out is going to be slowed, and it's really just gonna ruin the harassment. So I saw he wasn't there, so I went ahead and dropped these archers in the back. Against fiends, this is pretty good positioning because it's going to be tough for him to get there, with these clockwork goblins kind of blocking a lot of the entrances or pathways in his base, while my archers just go to town on this ziggurat here. So again, I really just want to do any kind of damage I can without getting I don't want to get the Zeppelin webbed. Again, those clockwork goblins really did a good job of blocking those fiends out. And but yeah, so really I took out that ziggurat, no losses really, and he had to come defend and stop harvesting. So, and I think I got a few ghoul kills actually also, which was that's a very effective harass. And now you just see, if he doesn't leave a fiend back there, I can just go do it again. And again, he is going to be slow wood harassment. You know, he's going to decide his decision right now. Again, I think it was sort of a poor decision actually. You know, he probably should have just built like a gargoyle or something and waited. You know, have a gargoyle sitting over here, so you know he'll have vision to see if I'm gonna, you know, run away or just keep this harass up. He ran all the way across the map to my main base, which is not the ideal thing for him to attack right now. You know, and also he actually did throw up an expansion, which was bad. I didn't actually notice this, so you know, I'm thinking I'm a little bit more ahead maybe than I am. With that expansion, you know, he's going to be he's gonna be just fine, even though he moved up the acolytes off his original gold mine. Again, he's not losing his economy quite as much as I thought at this moment, but again, this is not the best place for him to attack, because not only do I have moon wells in all my production buildings, but I also have this tower, and the ancients can uproot and everything else. So if I TP now, I should be in an advantageous situation, you know, to fight him. You know, he's gonna be taking damage from all these ancients that are hitting stuff. Again, I've got these towers, my ranged units, and again, it's gonna take a lot for him to really put a dent in my economy, because unlike the undead, you know, the wisps in the gold mine aren't exposed. So to do anything to that, he's actually gonna have to either take out the entangled part of the gold mine or the actual tree of life itself. Again, I'm putting a lot of damage on his Death Knight. That's pretty much, the Death Knight and the statue right now are pretty much the weaker links in his army. And because if I can force a TP or something here, I think I'll be pretty good off. I killed his, I destroyed his gold mine before I TP'd, and I really thought I was way ahead. I did not realize he had this expansion up. But again, I thought I could win this fight in my base. It's a little bit closer than I expected. He's throwing down a ton of damage on my hero, but I finally managed to get him to TP. Now here is the highlight reel of the day. There was one clockwork goblin right here. It just so happened to be right where he landed on the TP with his 30 hit point Death Knight, level 3. And I'm not even sure if it's there right now. I think it actually was like simultaneously getting killed by this Black Citadel as he landed. The timing could not have been any better. I say this is karma at its finest. Instant karma for map hacking against a legit player. Again, this is gonna be just glory. I don't even, in the game, I'm not even sure I knew this happened. It wasn't like a planned move, but it just, everything worked out. He, you know, if I wouldn't have got him to TP just at that moment, you know, another 2 seconds or even half a second, and this wouldn't have happened. But here it is, folks. Map hacker justice. The clockwork goblin was destroyed as the Death Knight landed on it, and he was killed. So he didn't actually save his Death Knight when he TP'd, which was his goal. You know, I don't know if he would have stayed, if he would have been able to really win that battle. I could have jumped in the Zeppelin with my hero and you know, continued making units and stuff. And he had a ton of fiends, so, and level 3 lich. So, you know, I don't really know, you know, how that battle would have went if he'd have stayed. It definitely, you know, probably would have been better than TPing into the death of his hero there. But again, I saw him coming with a fairy fire. I actually shouldn't have detonated on that fiend. I should have just detonated away from it. But I was trying to hit the lich, I believe, and just didn't. But again, that was just glorious. I mean, I am no fan of people who cheat in this game, in any game really. But again, since I play legit and don't use hacks, sometimes people beat me. You know, they don't, you know, not everybody that beats me uses map hack clearly, but the people that do use map hack, you know, sometimes that's just enough of an advantage to tip the scale in their favor. Again, as you see, he knew every time I was going to expand, so you know, it's going to take a lot, you know, a big advantage for me to get an expansion. He's going to try to get us around this invisible hero. This guy's just shamelessly hacking. And again, I'm calling him pitiful for doing that, but so yeah, he's just being completely embarrassing himself, honestly. I mean, you know, not that map hacking and hiding it is really all that much better, but again, when you're just blatantly like just being just a tool and cheating like that, I mean, it's just terrible. But again, he's waiting for his Death Knight. He's got this expansion here. He's actually not rebuilding his gold mine here for some reason, but Again, maybe he didn't have enough resources yet, but yeah, so I'm just trying to do some tinker, harass, and build up. You know, I feel like yeah, I probably shouldn't have actually thrown that there, but I just used the staff to get out of there. Again, I really just wanted to see what he was up to, and I found that expansion, and he sort of distracted. He took his acolytes off, and yeah, there was probably more effective things I could have been doing, but you know, finding out, you know, that he didn't rebuild there and sort of harassing him a little bit was good. I've got 2 Zeppelins now. Again, Zeppelins are pretty strong on this map because there's only so many entrances by ground to move your army around. But if you have Zeppelins, you can fly between these, fly right over these waterways or whatnot, and yeah, get to this expansion quick, get to the main base quick. There's a lot of trees and weird choke points that you can sort of you know, just bypass with the Zeppelins clearly. Now he sees me coming, so you know, against a map hacker, you know, they're maybe of limited use sometimes, but they still help in getting around quickly. And as good as map hack is, you know, without gargoyles or having some fiends sitting around, you know, you're still going to be able to utilize it. And if you're expanding somewhere, you know, you can draw them to the expansion, and you know, they're going to have to choose, you know, what they want to defend first, you know, or what they want to do first. Deal with your expansion, or try to hit your main as he's doing here, or defend your own expansion. Again, I think he made the wrong decision earlier. I'm gonna utilize sappers a little bit here and take out some ziggurats. Again, I probably should have just fought that battle. I sort of thought, you know, I sort of was worried he would have been able to fight me. Maybe he had more units. Kind of a split decision. Looking back, I probably could have just won the battle outright there, and instead of you know, instead of TPing. But I do have the expansion up. He does. He only has the 1 base right now, so I feel like, you know, I felt like maybe, you know, again, aside from not being sure who would win the battle, you know, I felt like I could just TP and kind of take advantage of these Zeppelins and everything, and yeah, I think I probably should have fought his army right there. Definitely think that would have been better. He had some weak fiends. You know, the positioning wasn't all that great, even though he's at his base. A lot of times you don't want to fight an undead at their base, though, especially with a shop right there in Black Citadel, because, you know, that shop is going to really, they can get heal scrolls, rods of necromancy, mana potions, health potions, etc. So dust of appearance if I'm hiding stuff. So so that's, you know, I probably wouldn't have done all that much damage if I would have fought him there. Thinking back, you know, again, it depends on what he was able to buy in terms of items and everything. So I'm gonna pick stuff up. Picking up an archer with managed lightning shield on it, you know, is gonna sort of help, you know, mitigate damage. But you know, I'm gonna drop him in the middle of his army. But again, this battle, it's not going great. You know, archers get pretty much demolished by level 2 Nova and lightning shield and coil and everything. But I am killing these statues. I'm doing a lot of damage here, and doing a lot of damage to him. And now the one advantage that I do have in my back pocket, since I'm elf, is since my base is about to run out, is with elf you can just walk your tree of life to another expansion. Again, as undead, he's going to be able to unsummon his expansion, I mean his gold mine, to get the resources, but again, he's still going to have to rebuild it. So in terms of resources, you know, it's good that he can unsummon, but this elf expansion is pretty much 100% free expansion in terms of resource cost. Now you're going to have to walk the expansion over here, or you know, to a gold mine, but it's a free expansion. So if a game hits this point, a lot of times that's going to be a racial advantage for the elf against all the other races, because you know, to take that out, they're going to have to run and fight it. And also, I'm going to get all these ancients uprooted, which are going to be hard to fight with just heroes and fiends. Ancients are really good against fiends. And also notice I've got Nature's Blessing, so these things move quicker, and they have a ton of armor. So right now he is pretty much in a lost situation if I play this correctly, because, you know, again, with those two heroes, he's not going to be able to stop me from getting a free expansion. And yeah, but I guess the counter to that is his gold mine is actually still got about 5,000 gold left in it, so it's not. I'm gonna have to get another expansion up to really have an advantage here. Well, sort of. I do have the advantage of these other gold mines have. You know, these other gold mines have more gold left in them than his does. He's only got about 5,500, and again, in sort of a long-term strategy, these other gold mines are going to have plenty of gold. 1250 or 12,500 at each of these corner ones, since they haven't been mined. This one actually also has almost 10,000, and this one, of course, has it got mined a little bit, so it's only got 12,000. 3,600, but 360, but 3,600, but again, it's sort of a long-term strategy. I should have the advantage once I get this expansion up in long-term, in terms of how much gold I can get out of that expansion. That's another you know, another 7,000 gold compared to what he's got left in his mine. So as long as I can just you know, not, you know, as long as upkeep doesn't come into play, you know, I can really just sort of squeeze him out right now. And again, he doesn't really have an army to really fight me, so I can also put pressure on his main. Notice I'm doing a ton of damage to this Lich. He's kind of being dumb to fight away from this tower, but again, I pretty much have the game in hand, as long as I don't do something silly like lose my hero or lose my expansion or let him expand, etc. So again, if you look at the replay time, it's almost over. He's really just trying to get some units here and sort of hit and run, but again, it's of limited effectiveness. Level 3 Pocket Factory, you know, if it starts getting out, if it doesn't get taken out quickly, those things can really start taking a toll on units and buildings and heroes. I mean, you know, with level 5 Tinker, you're going to be getting a huge advantage with the engineering or whatever skill that he's got that lets the pocket goblins come out quicker, or the clockwork goblins come out of the pocket factory quicker. Now again, you know, he's not completely out of this game. He's got 2 level 4 heroes, almost level 5 Lich. If he could have, you know, he really needed to level up. If he could have leveled up, you know, maybe creeping these down here, creeping this over here, creeping this shop perhaps, or Merc Camp, he could have, you know, he could have had, you know, a pretty decent shot instead of, you know, instead of just kind of fooling around, letting me getting this other expansion up. He needs level 3 Death Coil and Nova. If he had those, he would really have a lot better chance, because he could really just try to nuke my hero down, and then actually fighting him is going to be dangerous. And then again, also my units are just going to be annihilated if he could have got level 5 heroes. At least the archers and dots would have been. So again, that was a pretty big oversight on his part, not trying to do that. Again, I was putting pressure on him, you know, making it hard for him maybe to have time to go creep that. But with the level 4 heroes, you could quickly knock these camps out really with statues, especially, just really quick. Notice he's going to force me to TP, or actually I staffed, which he almost killed my hero. I didn't have a TP, so if he'd have killed the hero there, that would have been bad news. Really set me back. But these shredders are actually pretty strong in terms of they have decent hit points, decent armor, and they do a ton of damage. They have a fast attack, 34 to 61. I think yeah, normal attacks do they don't suffer as much penalty against fortified armor and hero armor. I believe that piercing does, but they do a ton of damage just in general. And notice I actually got the Death Knight kill with a Shredder in his last dying swing, which was another great moment. Again, he says he didn't lose. I don't know what he was going for there, trying to soothe his pride, I guess. But anyway, again, that replay shows you one sort of strategy that you can use against undead, especially on that map. Again, it won't be quite as effective if they're a map hacker, but again, a lot of strategies suffer that problem. But it was still able to work. You know, if you play it correctly. I got a little bit lucky that he didn't, that he sort of misplayed. Once I started Zeppelin harassing, he really didn't have time to go run to my main base. I think he sort of miscalculated that. He should have just gotten like 1 or 2 gargoyles and waited, so I couldn't really do all that damage. Because once I took out his gold mine, that was sort of a downward spiral for him. Taking out all that stuff, the ziggurats, and all the stuff I was able to take out while he was running to my main, and then I was able to fight him at my main base, which again was pretty much the worst setting for him to actually fight my army, because I had all the Angels of War, the Moonwells, the Ancient Protector, and yeah, all my units were going to come out, you know, from over there, the lures and the winds and everything. So, you know, I could quickly get reinforcements, whereas his army would have to be rallied all the way there, and they would have to walk. So, again, if you can sort of choose the setting of the battle, that's going to be an advantage oftentimes. Especially, you know, if you choose to fight at your main base, which is what his decisions led me to be able to do with the town portal. So again, he sort of let that one slip away. I think he would have been much better off to get his defense set, so to prevent me from doing that Zeppelin harass once he saw that I was going for it. You know, 1 or 2 gargoyles, you know, knock out that Zeppelin, and yeah, you know, then I don't have to TP or you know, just lose the game. If I don't have a town portal, I'll just lose the game immediately. So lose my army there. So, and even if I town portal, I mean, you can nuke archers pretty quickly with Nova Coil, so, and Fiends. So that was his mistake, I believe. And then the game dragged on to where the elf sort of got the slight advantage with the free expansion. And yeah, so that's what you need to watch out for if you're playing against elf. You know, you definitely want to try to avoid just being at sort of even when they hit that moment. He actually, you know, if I wasn't able to walk to that expansion, he actually maybe would have been better off than me, because he had 5,000 gold left in that gold mine, and I had mined my gold mine out at that point. So, but you know, you definitely need, if the game hits that moment, you know, you need to be aware that elf can do that, and you don't want to be in sort of a break-even situation there. Even with a slight advantage, you know, it becomes imperative that you keep pace economically with your opponent, pretty much, unless you have such a strong army advantage. So that's that was that audio commentary, and hopefully it was informative for you, and you enjoyed it. Scrymind out.